I mean, it is.
Are you telling me you're addicted to heroin?
I am addicted to heroin.
You're telling me you're straight up addicted to heroin. It's not pills no more. Now you've graduated.
I've graduated to heroin. I'm addicted to heroin.
This is the Heroin Podcast. I'm the producer, Yo Jefe. The purpose of this podcast is to talk about heroin and addiction. It is an epidemic across the nation that has destroyed so many families. I'm the oldest of four, 3 boys and 1 girl. My younger brother Chase died November 15th, 2013. My brother Chris is battling some of the same demons that took Chase's life. I'm on a mission, y'all. I'm doing this for my parents and my sister and to anybody that has been affected by heroin. This first episode is me, my mother, and my brother. It is a raw conversation as we look for solutions to a problem that is so complex. I'm fighting for his life because right now he can't. This is the Heroin Podcast. I mean, this is why we're all here, right? Is try to build this podcast for you, right?
Jay tells
This
me
is stuff
try
that
and
we
do
talked
something
about.
Positive.
This is something that we talked about, and it's something that you said you were committed to. And so, right now, you know, like we're, I think the people that's close to you and that wants you to fucking win and succeed are here. I think everybody wants to, but these are the people that's just closest to you. Would you think different?
No.
And so, I think that this came about based on the conversations that me and you had, right?
Yeah.
And they were what? Things that you were interested in and passionate about and wanted to try to get into?
Alright.
And that was?
But you mean the peer specialist?
The specialist? Okay, so this is recording. This is recording us. And this is part of this is your first podcast right here. And so this is what people are going to listen to for the first time. And this is an informal thing. And I'm never going to steer you into something that I'm not confident in or think that you can't do. And so this is the introduction to your podcast. And so we want, you know, everybody wants to know about your vision and what you're trying to accomplish with this.
We're here about heroin addiction. We're here about addiction in general. But more of the emphasis is on heroin addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And
You gotta speak up. I want to get it all.
With me, it's about all kinds of addiction. Addiction that has touched my life. With my family, first of all, and then my sons, and what I've learned. What I never thought I would learn, but I learned.
I think that's you saying that is very important to how this kind of came about. Because I don't think that there would have been a time where I would have been interested in this if it wasn't for things that have gone on in the last few years. And so I would say, you know, this kind of all came about from something that you said to me, that you were interested in going to school and doing the counseling and stuff. And so what made you, what brought you to that? What do you think brought you to that? What made you think that you wanted to do that?
Because my qualifications, what I'm qualified to do in life, really has no real world application. What I'm good at, there's no real world application except
There's no course that you could take.
there's really none.
And I was just saying this earlier was you can't put a price tag on experience. One of the biggest things that's so under, that is not recognized is life experiences. You can't put a dollar on life experiences. You could go to school and do all that stuff, but real life experiences, going through the things and experiencing them firsthand. There's
You
nothing.
can't learn it from a book.
You can't learn that from a book.
And if you really want to do what you're saying you want to do, in my opinion, well, I know you're a loving person, down deep. But the bottom line is, if you really do this, you're going to want to do it because you want to help people. There is no other reason.
I would like to make people aware of what's going on in the streets right now too. What's going on in the world. You know, I want people to be aware of what the perils are of fucking with that black shit. You know, of doing heroin. What can happen because of it. How it just doesn't affect me. It affects everybody else around me.
And any addictive pills.
Opiates.
The opiates are not always, but can be a stepping stone.
Well, they are.
And actually,
They
I
are
think, in
stepping
my
stones.
opinion, it is a stepping stone. I mean, you don't just think, oh, I think I'll go do heroin. It's usually because there is some kind of pills you fooled with, and even cocaine. And
I don't really look at it like the
Opiates.
drugs as. I think that all the drugs are based on having a good time, and eventually they become an outlet or a getaway to not facing your problems, and then that's when it becomes a problem because it goes from having a good time to, oh, I'm stressed out, I'm depressed, I'm whatever. That's when it crosses over to being an issue because now you're no longer doing it for celebration or nothing or or because birthdays or things like that. It's more because I'm depressed and I'm miserable.
And I want to run away.
I want to run away.
Because it takes guts not to run away. And you don't realize it. The people around you don't realize you specifically are, or the person, not you, but the person that they care about, the person they're watching basically deteriorating, and you know they are, and they're getting weaker in their mind when perhaps they used to be really strong, and they'd have convictions, and they would never want to do that, and no, that's not going to affect me that way. No, I'm not going to get addicted. And then months later, you realize I have been, that's what everyone told me, I didn't listen, and now you get to a point where, well, I don't give a fuck.
That or you feel trapped. You feel trapped in that.
You do feel trapped. But
Feel trapped in that
the
addiction.
thing is, you know, I never really went to a lot of meetings when my son was the way he is, or the way he was. We talked about it, we went to a few, but I thought, it's not going to happen. He'll be better, he'll get better. I'll be by his side, I'll help. Then I realized too late, I didn't help. I was an enabler, and I still am with you. I can tell. I told you it wasn't long enough. What was it, 28 days?
Maybe it wasn't long enough, Mom.
Maybe. What?
Maybe it wasn't.
I
You may
told
need to
you.
go back. That's always an option.
Well, I told you. I told you not to come home. But I know you didn't like that place. But, you know, it's like you not liking prison or somebody not liking, you know, where they're living or not liking who they've become. I've just learned, seriously, I am in this position and I'm still fighting.
Do you guys want something?
And I still
Something to drink beside water.
don't know what I'm doing.
What do you want?
Sprite, Coke. Well, I can always go back.
Go back where?
Rehab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate you saying that, but do you know, it's not where you want to go.
It's not where I want to go, but I can always go back.
You gotta want it. You gotta, it's this is fucking no joke. It's no joke. It's like, oh, I'll take a little here, a little there, maybe pop some pills. I'll
How
be
do you
fine.
think?
It's a slippery slope.
How do you think?
Well, it ain't slippery slope to me because I see you going down. You ain't going back up. I'm praying you go back up.
Well, then maybe I need to go back in.
I don't think that's a maybe. That's not a maybe question, or you know, you're only gonna do what you want to do. You know, you're the captain of the ship. You know, we just kind of chime in.
You know,
What do you think? Addiction does to the people on the outside looking in.
It's gotta break their heart.
that's right.
I'd go back. I would.
You know, man, I'm not gonna dismiss the fact that you're saying that right now today. But you know, we wanna, you know, I think because you feel, because of the setting, you feel remorseful right now. But you know, think about when you are angry and you are upset and you are wanting to change the situation. That's not something that, and you know, I'm not saying that in a negative way at all, but that's, you know, that drive, that ambition, all that wanting to make it, to do the things that you know you need to do. You know, that's not going back is not an option at that point. You're like, no, man, I'm gonna push through this. I'm gonna do what I know I need to do. What I know what's in you. I know it's in you.
I'm not sure what we're talking about now. We're talking about blind ambition.
Yeah, we're talking about blind ambition. We're talking about moving forward. We're talking about the experience. We're talking about all that shit.
Well, I mean,
You know, this isn't a situation where we're talking about all you going back to wherever. You know, I don't know. Mom said, you know, she said that. I didn't say that.
Maybe I need some more clean time.
I mean, but it's just, that's all it is just being secluded. What you take from it and what you do with it when you leave, or
Because see, you have to be strong out here. You have to know what you want and go after it. And sure, you might stumble and fall, But you still gotta want it today the same way as you want it in 3 weeks.
What I need is what I need to do is I probably need to get on methadone. I need to get on Suboxone or methadone for a short term. And
I think that's an option.
And then I need to bounce out from that.
Okay, you say that, but I say we never really tried the methadone thing, but we tried the Suboxone thing. You maintained on that for a long time, but eventually that became an issue. And by yourself, and God willing, you got off of that. I think you had a good run once you got off of it. But I think because you didn't build on that, it became a stagnant situation.
Right.
There was nothing to build off of.
But there was.
There was nothing to build off of.
I mean, getting off Suboxone as long as you was on it, that was like a milestone.
I have intense back pain. You know? And that shit happens. It comes out of left field. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm dealing with chronic pain. I'm dealing with chronic pain and I'm dealing with opiates. It's two very slippery slopes. You know, I have an appointment with the pain clinic at the end of this month.
I know, but you had the appointment with the doctors, and you had an appointment with the surgery people, and then they said that there was no option to do the things that you were looking for, a remedy for the situation, right?
There was no operation.
There was nothing. And so
They had all your papers.
when we
on?
talked, you know, I talked to you about the weight thing, and that you really didn't give that a good go.
What's that?
Just losing weight.
Just dropping
Weight. That probably wouldn't be the answer to alleviating you of complete discomfort, but you never really did it, so we don't know what it would do.
Also, lifting weights. I don't.
We're gonna have to edit a lot of this shit out.
It doesn't matter, we will. And it's kind of, and that's okay because it's kind of is swaying against what, you know, it's becoming more about you and what you're got going on, but it should do that. But the whole
it's gotta be real.
But the whole purpose of it was, and this is a good
Learning.
this is a good learning experience of people knowing where you're coming from and your background and the experience, right?
Well, let's start with the background.
Okay. Well, that's what we're kind of doing is painting the picture of what it is. You know, I mean, this isn't something that I came up with. This isn't something I came up with. This is something that you came up with.
Well,
right? This is something that you said you wanted to do.
We should start at the beginning then.
I mean, I think over the course of time we'll get there. But, you know, I'm not against whatever you think the beginning is.
What's going on with the Ibogaine?
I mean, that's something that, you know, that I talked to you about before. But, you know, it's not...
Can you get your hands on it?
I've been trying to. But it's not something that, you know, if I could just get it, I would. But it's not something that's offered here. It's not something that's recognized here as a solution. It's all overseas or, you know, Mexico and those type of things to get a hold of. And I really wasn't that interested in it, but the more research I did on it, I think, you know, it's worth a shot.
I would like to try. I'd like to try. Maybe get over the hump.
When you say get over the hump, you know, sometimes I teeter-totter on if there is a hump, because you led me to believe that there's not.
What do you mean?
As far as getting over the hump.
I need to get like, you know, a couple weeks in.
Mm-hmm. But you just had fucking 30 days.
Yeah, I know. I need to get a couple more weeks in. Drug free. I need that.
What do you think this could be?
What do I think it could be.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
As far as this podcast.
I think this podcast, I think we need to revamp it and come out with some very specific questions.
When you say revamp it, I mean, the title of it is Heroin.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty much self-explanatory.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like,
Hey, I like to do heroin. Heroin's a beautiful thing.
I mean, what was this,
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie about it.
okay, it's a beautiful thing, you like to do it, but
I like to do it.
how fucked up is it too, on the other end?
Yeah, it's
Does
fucked up.
the pros overweigh the cons?
You know what, man? You know what? When I got out of that fucking treatment center, I had incredible pain the day I got out. So, and
Wait,
so,
okay. Before you spill this story out, I just have to pull up. You kind of teeter-totter on it being a beautiful thing and it being a remedy for the back pain. And I just kind of think, is it a good time or is it do you do it for the back pain? Which one is it? It's more a good time, and it ends up being an excuse for the back pain, right?
Well, fuck, man. It's a little bit of everything, and the lines get blurred.
Yep.
The lines just get blurred, man. You know.
The lines get blurred, and so but it's at the end of the day, it's not something you want to be doing, right?
No. It's not.
It's not.
No. At the end of the day, I want a fucking regular life, a successful life. I want to be doing right, doing good.
And so, is there any version of that happening with heroin being in the equation?
No.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Because
And so that's kind of like the bottom line, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Like that's the whole point of this thing is to be another outlet to raise that awareness. No? Okay, so when we were just talking about it, and you were like, we needed to revamp it, and so we know what the topic is, right? And when we're talking about, we need to come up with some questions, and so, if we were gonna do that right now, what do you think the question should be?
Well, I think we should ask Mom. She watched someone get took, and she loved very much. And ask her, like what.
what did I learn?
No, I mean, how did that make you feel?
I think what he's trying to ask you is, or what he did just ask you was, how did it make you feel losing somebody to the situation? Losing somebody to drugs.
How did it make me feel? Like all of the above. Angry. Kicking myself. Enabler.
Let me ask you this then. If you had to do it over again, what would you tell yourself?
That's a tricky question.
If I had to do it over again, I would ask everybody if I had to, if I didn't have the money, I would straight up ask people to help and send it away. About 10 years ago.
But
See, in high school, He was different because, like
We're talking about Chase.
Yeah.
you, he was different in the aspect of right out of high school, he had 4 occasions where he had to have serious things wrong with him as far as taking the painkillers and the opiates. And I was so stupid that I didn't realize that 1 month would pass and then 3 months would pass, something else would happen. 6 months would pass, something else would happen. And all that time he was drugged up and I didn't know it. I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
I mean, you just weren't. You
It
didn't
was-
realize it was as bad as it was.
No way.
So
That's
Okay,
how-
but
that's
but
what I'm
I
saying.
I
That's
just
how
have
it
to
be-
ask this question though.
That's how it began.
I don't. Do you really feel like money was the issue? Because whether the money was there or not, was he gonna go?
Yes,
Was he gonna go?
I think he would have went.
And so the
If-
times that
if-
it was on the table for him to go, he didn't go. The times that the
Right,
one or
right,
two
right.
times he went, did he stay?
No, no.
And so that wasn't about
But-
money.
No, but that was years ago.
Okay, but it wasn't about money.
Yeah, but
And so the
As
earlier,
it
so the
progressed.
other earlier years, it wasn't really a question of money. It was a question of not identifying
Right.
the severity of the situation.
Right,
And so
right.
when you did realize it was bad, it still wasn't about money. It was about the commitment on going or not.
Right.
And so it was really, I don't, I just kind of like,
Done differently.
But
I just kind of, I turn my nose up to that because I don't think it's ever about money.
Yeah,
Money,
no, I see where you're coming from.
money just accompanies comfort.
no,
You get to
yeah.
pick and choose where you get to go, but it doesn't matter if you paid a shitload of money for it or no money for it. If they don't want to stay, then what are we talking about?
Right.
If they're not going to stay and accept the treatment and really run the course of the treatment and really try to embody it, what are we talking about?
Right. But I think it's important to get this out there for other families to identify what goes on in those later years of the teen.
As it kind of
Years.
progressed to the this to that to
Because-
even worse and identifying those that kind of gradual step to
Yeah, because
Hell.
at first it was his wisdom teeth, and then it was a deviated septum, and then
that was just
it
because
was
this shit was ran raw. He didn't have that.
an ingrown toenail that really is painful for a few weeks. So he kept giving him pills, and he kept going back. And then there was 1 or 2 more other things within a 2-year period that I don't know. I was ignorant, just totally ignorant. And then
Did you not ever feel like it was just what most drugs are? Is just kind of like, or it's just partying. That's what's going on. That's what's going around. That's what everybody's doing, and you're just partying.
Yeah, that was after high school. He started partying a lot after high school. And, as the years went by, I mean, what you asked me what I would do different. And I suppose the first few years would have been the same. But the last few years, actually, I know nobody believes this, but actually after like 30, I was like, he's got to go away. And I worked with him, and that's what I helped him many ways. And I have a lot of guilt.
What at the
So what would you have done differently?
I think my
I mean,
question,
with his
my I think my question on top of his is after going through that with him and knowing what you know now, what are you doing differently with the situation that's going on now?
Well, it's totally different. Number one, he's way older. Number two, he knows what he has to do. And number three, it's like it's different with him than it was with him because he's
Yeah.
older, because he has many opportunities, because he has so many different issues. And I try to lend my support the most I can. And I try to talk to him more than I probably know that he goes in one ear and out the other. But he did go away. That was a positive thing, but it's been a couple of times now. And it scares me. Because selfishly, I can say that I don't know what I would do if he were somehow out of the picture. But that's just selfish me. I mean, I don't know if I can help you any way except to beg you. I know you lied to me. I know I still give you money. But it's not like I give you hundreds of dollars. You have your own ways. You get money, I'm sure, but I don't feel like you have hit bottom. You know, you feel like maybe you've hit bottom with your relationships, with your family, with your position that you're in, with your housing. But you're not on the street. You're way far from being there.
I think he's way far from allowing himself to get there. But, you know, that's another story. I kind of want us to.
You know, I just feel like he.
Hey, I'm gonna take off, guys.
Yeah, all right. All right. Thanks, man.
Kuna Matata.
Kuna Matata.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Hi, Con. You see, I love you. Good to see you. I want to meet
what's up with the
Kylie.
hole in the jeans, dude?
I fell.
Huh?
I fell.
Alright, guys. Alright, man.
Bye, tell your girl hi. Bye.
You know,
Love
That's
with
you.
not
some hole in your
fashion,
sweat. I know, man. You're not.
That's not fashion, man.
You're not really hip.
That's not fashion, man.
I
Sew
got
it
some
up.
over here, man.
He said sew it up.
Sew it up, dude.
I know, man.
Sew the jeans
I'll
up.
give you like, man, 10 months, and you're gonna be like, man, where did you get those holy jeans at?
Come on,
You're gonna be
dog.
asking me.
Come on, dog. Sew them jeans up, man. Do us a favor, man.
I should have made he left,
That's what I
man.
do different. What I would do different is
No, not what would you. What do you do different going through that first situation with this second situation? Tell me one thing you do different.
Well, I don't live there.
You told me why it's different, his age and the situation and those things, but what have you done different going through the first time?
Thank you, Mama.
bye, honey. Take care.
You know I want a hug. You know I do, Mama. We bonded tonight.
Okay, God bless you.
Love you. I hope to
You
see you
try
soon,
to-
okay?
You try to enjoy your birthday anyway. Just go to a park and chill.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice meeting you,
Yeah,
Chris.
nice
Have a
meeting
good
you.
night.
Alright, whoops.
Oops.
And I'm
care.
happy to see you, Jay. I'm nice seeing you again.
Listen,
Have a good night, Kay. You guys have a great night.
Bye,
Night.
Connor. Call me.
Right. Bye, Connor.
And so, yeah, what would you do different?
You mean, what do I do different?
What do you do different?
It's a totally different situation.
Well,
I
she
don't
just
live there.
established that.
Okay, I'll tell you what I
it's
do
two
different.
different. It is two different people, two different situations, two different scenarios,
But
a different era, a
nevertheless,
different time. But going through that, what do you think you
As a
do
mom-
different as a mother today? Going through what you going through what you went through, and seeing
I don't enable
what you
him.
see today.
I don't enable him like I did with the other one. I don't give him money, except a few bucks here and there.
All right. Well,
I
that you know what
don't
I don't.
take
You don't.
him to
You
go
don't.
get drugs.
You don't have to.
I
You know.
take
Okay, that's
him
fine.
to
That's
go
what
get
you're saying. You do
tobacco.
differently. What do you think you've done differently, knowing what you know, what happened the first time around?
The difference between me and Chase.
Well, not the difference between you two, but going through that and him being a part of your family. What do you think you do differently? I mean, it could be nothing. You know. I mean, for myself, going through that, and things that that's going on today, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know what I do differently. I think I think his situation took me by a blind side, and I think what's going on today, I kind of like don't really accept or just kind of just like dodge, like act like it's not going on almost.
Act like what's not going on.
Just things that have gone on, things that have happened since he's passed.
For example,
you.
I mean, if you want me to say
For
it,
us,
there's things that have gone on, things that have happened. What's going on today?
what's going on today?
I don't know. You tell me.
what you're doing
What am I
to
doing?
yourself.
I dibble and dabble, you know?
Okay. Well, I mean, we know that, and so why do you ask me that? You
'Cause
know
I
that's
want
what
you
I'm
to
talking
say
about.
it.
You know that's what I'm talking
Because
about.
I want you to say it.
Maybe
Okay.
he doesn't want to say it in front of his mother.
Well,
So everybody just be
I mean,
cutting me
I'm
like.
telling you, heroin addiction is a cold thing. I mean, it is.
Are you telling me you're addicted to heroin?
I am addicted to heroin.
You're telling me you're straight up addicted to heroin. It's not pills no more. Now you've graduated.
I've graduated to heroin. I'm addicted to heroin.
Well,
I'm not-
that's
I mean, but
fucking
I'm-
great.